Have you ever wondered what might happen if Waluigi were to be made the antagonist of his own video game? Well, of course, he would probably steal the music keys from the Rhythm Temple and become the best dancer in the universe. But, you know, what if we went a little bit darker than that? Continuing the trend from last weekend, I discovered a new fan game at Sage this year. That's the Sonic Amateur Games Expo, and that game was called Essence of Waluigi. Of course, with a name like that, you might think, hey, this is probably a joke, right? It seems kind of weird that Waluigi would, use his essence to kill Luigi, take over the Mushroom Kingdom, and force Mario into a deep depression. All funny stuff, you know? So, imagine my surprise when I booted this game up and it was actually a super serious and more dark take on the Mario franchise that I love so much. Not only that, but there's a full game and then a demo for a sequel, like, in one Sage? This is crazy. Like, where have these games been? Why have I never heard of them before? The game begins with Mario having a nightmare. He then awakes and is like, oh man, I don't know if I can get out of bed. I don't know if I have the strength to even do a single jump. And then this man does Olympic triple jump worthy jumps. Right out of bed, like he's some kind of demigod. But now that he's been having nightmares for like all this time, he's decided enough is enough. He's going back to the Mushroom Kingdom and he's going to destroy Waluigi's essence for real. Avenge his brother and probably everyone else who was killed by Waluigi. We have no mention of Princess Peach or anything, so maybe she's like long gone, I don't know. The way this game controls initially did not vibe very well with me, but eventually I started thinking of it a little bit like Super Mario 63, if you guys remember that. It's like a pretty old Mario Flash game where you kind of have like Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64 gimmicks going on. But here the levels are much more linear because the goal is usually to get to the end of the stage while avoiding enemies and hazards and stuff. Oh, and also, if you want to see me play this game, sort of like a Let's Play, please go click the card at the top right of the screen and you can see me play this for like 30-something minutes or something. If you hadn't realized already, this Mario sprite is actually based on the live-action Mario from the Super Show, who was played by Captain Lou Albano, so we have some sound clips from him. Totally unrelated, but I was actually on the Spriters resource for something else the other day, and I found these Mario sprites specifically on the Spriters resource, and I'm wondering if this is the first and only time they've ever been used in a fan game. Kind of a shame if that's true, because they're really good. This whole game oozes style, and it's very just like atmospheric too at points. It's very interesting they were able to pull this off, judging by the fact that, you know, from the looks of it, I thought it was going to be a shitpost game, but then it turned out to be something that I liked so much that I wanted to cover on the channel and talk about sort of extensively. On your travels through this distorted kingdom, you're not going to be finding any power-ups this time around, but you will find these health blocks that will increase your health back up by 1 if you hit them, and if you are full on health, they won't do anything. But keep an eye on Mario's life meter in the top left, because it will actually change emotion based on how much health you have, sort of like in Banjo-Kazooie. Most of this game is just about getting to the goal in these sections of 2D platforming gameplay, but once you stumble into Waluigi's dimension, you actually get set into this little sandbox location where you're tasked to grab 8 stars. Since I was originally playing this on stream, I was a little bit worried that it was going to take a long time, and that was completely justified, because looking around this area, there is a lot to do. But in a stream format where I'm trying to look at other games as well, there was this problem where I kept going to the same places while absent-mindedly checking chat, and then I kind of just got myself stuck because, like, sure, I found the stars for, you know, breaking these blocks with my head and finding the star up in this little alcove. I used, like a switch to open a pathway to a star, and I had to race there before time was up. I collected 7 of the 8 red coins and miserably floundered around this stage, trying to act like everything was okay while I looked for the last one and never found it. There's even this, like, bootleg Waluigi boss in the middle of the whole thing, and when you defeat it, he plays Ode to Joy, and I just had the biggest brain moment possible after seeing that. Fucking playing Amazing Grace. Having killed Waluigi's doppelganger. That was Ode to Joy, sorry, I'm the dumbest man alive. Streaming it ain't easy, I'm just trying my best, you know? Thankfully this game was intriguing enough that I didn't want to stop just because I couldn't figure it out on stream though, and once I came back to the game later, I found the last red coin and star easily. Thankfully the final star was just about killing all the enemies and it wasn't anything insane that I wouldn't have ever thought of. But here we are, we've made it past this area, and now we have a water level that is incredibly basic and very reminiscent of early Mario water levels. Not super difficult, but if you're not paying attention or you slightly touch the bottom of the screen, yeah, you'd die. This also might be a good time to bring up the idea that they have this weird Castlevania damage function in the game where when you get hit, Mario will shoot backwards or whatever direction he got hit from, and that usually will result in a death, especially in some of the oncoming levels, because it's either a vertical section you're challenging for way longer than you think you're going to be, or it's going to be a bridge section reminiscent of the original Mario 1 yet again, except this time with knockback and, you know, bottomless pits and knockback, they go together like peanut butter and ham. Then you get to the final level, which is like Waluigi's evil wizard tower. Also, gotta mention, huge dedication on Waluigi's part to even get any of this stuff done. Climbing the tower is no easy feat either. There's a lot of challenging platforming, and you gotta utilize the triple jump, which I don't think I mentioned you can use from a standstill, which is much different than my Mario 64 instincts will have me believe. But it is pretty satisfying when you can use a triple jump to bypass some parts of level, and it is very possible in a level like this where it's all about climbing to the top. This part, though, this is the most challenging part of the game by far, because what comes after this and what comes before feels like the difficulty curve is kind of like wobbling a little bit. It's like one of those like cosine, tangent, whatever the fucks. Dude, I hate lines. Hitting the top of the tower, though, we have the man himself, or rather his essence. It's Waluigi the balloon animal essence, and that is his full name. Please refer to him as such. What looks really intimidating at first glance is actually a very silly man with a lot of grabby hand motions that does not have the ability to back it up. And very fortunately for us, once we defeat this giant man, he releases his grip on none other than Luigi. Super Show Luigi, even. So yeah, it turns out Luigi wasn't dead after all. He's just been the vessel of pure torment for years, and Mario's left him there without bothering to go check. What a good brother. Like, literally, if you didn't see a body, why did you not go back and check? What the heck is that about, dude? But now that Mario has been possessed by the essence, Luigi wakes up and is immediately ready to take on the new Waluigi-fied Mario, who looks like a genie for some reason. But you know, Waluigi always kind of struck me as a genie, so that makes sense. This boss is actually a little bit tough, because you gotta figure out when you're able to hit him, and once you're able to do that, you just gotta find out how to dodge all the attacks, which is, I guess, the foundation of any boss battle, now that I'm thinking about it and saying that out loud. Duh. Side note, the Luigi sprites are also based on the Super Show and are super clean in motion. Like, that jump animation is crazy good. And using those very jumps is what allows us to free Mario and then let Luigi grab the essence and take advantage of its power to end the overall essence's hold on the world for good. Probably, but there's a sequel. Whoops. The sequel has a lot less going for it right now because it is just a demo with one level and one boss, but it is still a very huge improvement over the original game. We get some exposition right off the start where Waluigi, the real one this time, is like, oh shoot, my essence has been de-essenced. So he decides to go back to the Mushroom Kingdom and end it once and for all because those pesky plumbers don't deserve to keep getting away with their essence-destroying ways. And that brings us to the character select screen. You're able to pick between Mario and Luigi this time, and some mysterious third newcomer who I couldn't unlock in this demo unless I was just missing something. The bros each have their own special moves this time. Luigi able to do a roll attack to go through small passages, and Mario able to do a ground pound to break blocks below him that aren't breakable via spin jump. No matter who you pick, the story will be the same, so I decided to go with Luigi this time and discovered that somehow they have found the most obnoxious Luigi voice clips I've ever heard in my life, and I can't actually identify where they're coming from. The gameplay is fairly similar. You still have the dive move, you have the addition of the spin jump to jump on certain enemies and obstacles, and also you have the triple jump that's been nerfed a little bit because you need to have some momentum to use it this time. Not a big problem, honestly makes more sense. We also lose the Super Show sprites from the previous game, and we are now focusing a lot more on the main Mario timeline, it seems. Somewhere before the game starts, however, Mario and Luigi are both put into like a coma so Waluigi can do his business, and then they wake up from the coma and they're like, oh my god, Toad Town has been destroyed, who do we thank for this? So Toadsworth shows up and he's like, oh, I'm the only one left, everyone is dead. And I was kind of like, wow, that's pretty impressive that this old man who has been killed off in the real Nintendo games is the only one to survive. But then Waluigi shows up and is like, "Hey guys, did you miss me?" And Mario and Luigi were like, "Yeah, man." Except just kidding, that's not what they say, because Mario doesn't talk and Luigi's pissed. Waluigi sicks his newest essence creation on them and then leaves, expecting it to kill them, but then again, it is the first boss in the game, so it's not that difficult to figure out. Following that, Toadsworth shows up and is like, "Hey, you should probably forget about this place for now because there's nothing left here to protect, and you should go find Professor Egad because he's on Eternius Island and he might have made this stank essence to begin with." And Luigi is like, "You want me to forget all of the lives that have been lost here? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you, old man?" But it's like he clearly didn't mean it that way, so I don't know why Luigi overreacted, and then he gets kind of embarrassed and they just walk away. But psych, that wasn't actually Toadsworth, it was fucking Count Cannoli from Wario Master of Disguise, a character that I didn't think anybody in the universe actually remembered. I bet most of the people watching this don't even know who this character is. Like, Wario Master of Disguise is such a weird game to pull from, but like, I also kind of called it a little bit because the sprites for Waluigi looked a little bit like Master of Disguise Wario, and then Waluigi even mentioned being in disguise, and I was like, oh man. This is too coincidental. But yeah, that's Essence 2. I mean, I kind of like the vibe of the first game a little bit more so far, but I am interested a lot in the story, and I'm very eager to see where this goes. So if you want to check these out for yourself, you can check out the links in the description to play them, and you can also check out the creator's channel and follow to see when they upload new news about this game. Try saying new news 100 times fast, you will explode. I think that's gonna do it for this video though, so if you like this and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more fan games and other things that aren't fan games, because I do a lot of things. Reminder, if you want to see me play this game in Let's Play fashion, you can check out the card up at the top right, and you can also watch as I thank my current channel supporters, who are Brady Hilkemeyer, Mimic, Noah Wizbios, Dark Mist 325, Scratch Attack 64, The Talented Animator, Danny Lee Dauber, Dax, Ty Little Tech Guy, Jeremy, Crystal, Chaos, Dork in a Hat, Mega Traffic Cone. And on Patreon we have Bingus the Funny Twitter Boy, Noah Wizbios again, and John the Real Waluigi. Very fitting name for this one, John. Of course, also a huge thank you to everyone who's supporting me in the $1 tiers, and remember, even $1 helps a ton, and you get extra bonus stuff such as members-only videos and some special rewards in the Discord server. Thank you all so much for that and for watching, and I will see you all next time.